D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can read them for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to basically read it to you. Also, before I get just started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now that we got that business out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started? So for my first story this week, you guys, all right, so The Office looks like it's getting a reboot. Now, I just want to say right off the bat, this article comes from Collider, and I'm not a fan of The Office. I'm not saying that it's a bad show. It's just I've only seen season 1, and it just turned me off, and I was just like, you know what? I don't have time to watch any more of this, because I'm just at a point in my life where it's like, if you get one season, then that's generous, I think. And if you can't convince me in one season, I got to drop you, and maybe I'll pick you up later, but I don't think it's going to happen. So why don't we go ahead and read this article and everything, and I'll tell you some more of my thoughts on this, because I have to say, I think this is a bad idea. Anyway, so it says the acclaimed comedy series starred Steve Carell, Ryan Johnson, John Krasinski, Mindy Kaling, Jenna Fischer, and more. All right, so it says the big picture. The Office, known as one of the funniest sitcoms in recent history, is reportedly set to return to TV. News of the reboot comes after the resolution of the writer's strike, and original showrunner Greg Daniels is expected to revamp the series. The cast, including John Krasinski and Mindy Kaling, have expressed interest in revisiting their roles in the potential reboot, which from what this sounds like, I don't see them going back there and being able to do it. Well, let's just finish this. Okay, so over the years, it has been said that laughter is the best medicine. In the modern world and current era of television, sitcoms have been one of its many conveyors. The Office, seminal workplace sitcom, which had a brilliantly hilarious run from 2005 till 2013. Wow, it went on that long? Man, what is that, like 7 seasons? I don't know. Anyways, can be categorized as one of the funniest shows to ever grace television. Not in my opinion, but I have a twin brother and he loves this show. I personally am just like, I don't get it, but but I'm not saying it's bad that if you like it, because some of the shows, I'm just like, if you like this show, I don't understand how you could like it. Now, after many rumblings of a reboot, it seems The Office is reportedly set to finally return to TV. The major development for the show comes hot on the heels of the tentative agreement reached for the resolution of the 5-month-long writer's strike. The Office is centered on the employees of a fictional paper and stationery company in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and according to writers Matthew Belloni and Jonathan Heddle, I don't know if they say their names right. I don't care. Its return, it's imminent. In an article for Puck News, the pair scheduled that original showrunner Greg Daniels will return to revamp the series. They wrote, Greg Daniels is set to do a reboot of The Office. For instance, Disney's Donna Walden will finally be able to announce the return of her BFF Ryan Murphy from Netflix. A ton of high-profile movie script will come in. The industry will chug back to normal. I mean, I think, first off, yeah, they're right. It will come back to normal. I think it'll take some time. I don't think we'll see anything. I think there will be, I'm just talking about the writer's strike right now. I think there will be a period where we will see no new content. I mean, and if we do, very little new content. The news of a reboot came as part of a border conversation regarding that projects and deals will emerge once the strike officially ends. News of this reboot might not come as a surprise to some, given that there have been rumors from both cast members and exclusive executives at NBC alike. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of this article just because it's not really needed for me to finish this video, but I do want to go down here to right here where it says about this. and talks about the iconic characters. And then I want to talk about the show in general and what I think of it. So it says, The Office boasts many memorable characters. However, none can quite compete with the appeal of the socially awkward yet hilarious, endearing regional manager that is Steve Carell's Michael Scott. The rest of the show's cast includes Rian Johnson, John Krasinski, Jenna Fisher, Mindy Kaling, Craig Robinson, BJ Novak, Creed Bratton, Angelina Cow. Okay, all these people. Yay. All right. So I want to go back up here. We'll just go, we'll just keep it right here of the cast members here, because that's fun for them. Now, one thing I want to talk about with this, and what I think people should be worried about with this show is if they're gonna go woke. Now, I understand that a lot of people are all like, oh, but it's got to be more modern. I don't have a problem with that. And as you can see from this picture right here, which doesn't include Steve Carell or Mindy Kaling, but in that original show, it was a lot of white people. And I know plenty of people that have a problem with that. And for me personally, like I said before, I don't watch the show, but I do think they are going to go woke. And here's why I think that. Oh, let me define what I think woke is, because there's this whole controversy of like, you can't even define woke and everything. For me personally, woke is a state of awareness only achieved by those dumb enough to find injustice in everything except their own behavior. So this is what I think they're going to do. I think this is going to go woke because I think this is going to be very anti-white. Because if you remember from the first show, and you can see from this picture right here, it's a lot of white people. So I think that to combat that and be all like, there wasn't enough minorities on the show, it wasn't, inclusive or diverse, they're gonna stack the deck with a lot of people of color, which I don't have a problem with. But at the same time, I just go, what nonsense are we gonna get? Which BLM character are we gonna get? Which is gonna be super fun, because nothing says comedy like activism. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's what it's going to be. You're going to get, and if Mindy Kaling gets involved, it's going to be shit, because she's a shit writer, everything that she writes is just pure nonsense. I mean, I watched a couple of episodes of that Mindy Kaling show. That sucked. That Velma show sucked. She wrote that movie. What was it? Late Night. Man, was that a complete abortion. You know what I'm saying? It was just so stupid. So what do I think this is going to do? First off, I think that people that really love that show are going to give it a try. That's fine. Maybe I'll give it a try. But people, I think, have just moved on and they just want to remember what it was. But I'm not going to watch this show. I don't care what they do. I take that back. I might give it a try, but I doubt it. But we'll see how this turns out and who they get and all that good stuff. But yeah, I see it heading down the activism path. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys. So that is my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week. Okay, you guys. So I want to just say this real quick before we get into this article. I need you guys to take this one with a grain of salt, because I've gotten my hopes up too many times for this to be one of those things where I'm going to be all like, yay, it's real. But I have hopes. Okay, so this comes from Inside the Magic, and they say Disney reportedly fires Rachel Zegler from Snow White live action. I want to tell you what I think about this, because yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on it. Just let me read this article a little bit. Long story short, I don't think it's real, but we'll see. Okay. In the past, Disney has been known to remove actors from their franchises if bad publicity was at hand. Now, reports are claiming that they have done this with their upcoming Snow White live action film, following a large amounts of scandal and drama that the film is undergoing before a trailer had even been released. Well, that's a fun little thing of Snow White. I love Snow White, even though Snow White really doesn't do anything in that movie. If you have been following the live action Snow White drama as of late, which if you haven't been, I've done plenty of videos on it. I'll leave it in the iCard section so you guys can check them out. But yeah, you know that many Disney fans are not too happy with the lead actor Rachel Zegler, who has shown a lot of hatred towards the original storyline of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from 1937. Yes, she has. In fact, she, remember she said, I just meant it's not 1930s. The movie is very much 1937, and rightfully so. Weird. Anyways, the film that kicked off the Walt Disney entry into the world of feature films in 1937 has remained beloved for years. Yeah, I love that movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like I said before, even though Snow White doesn't really do anything in that movie, it's still like, I love that movie. I could watch it's so pure, and it's so, just heartfelt, and you can just, I don't know, you can just watch it and not have to worry about getting a message. You know what I'm saying? Making remains. So when Disney announced that they would be making a live action of the first ever Disney princess, many were excited. Not this kid. Disney cast Latina actress Rachel Zegler in the role, and although her ethnicity did cause a little backlash considering Snow White's skin is meant to be as white as snow, very true, many were happy with the casting choice, as Zegler had recently shared singing chops as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, which she did. Listen, I have to give credit where credit is due. She did a good job in that movie, and she did a good job also in Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods. Now, here's the thing, though. Those movies were bombs. Those movies did not make money, you guys. So, and I can tell you right now, nobody's coming to a movie to see Rachel Zegler. Nobody. So you just have to chalk it up to, she has, in my opinion, no name recognition. And I'll talk about her just a little bit more. Since then, things have taken a dark turn. Yes, they have. We have, as of late, seen Disney look to be more inclusive, both on screen and with their theme parks. Disney launched the Reimagine Tomorrow initiative, stating that we haven't always got it right. This came after the cast member dress code changed when it came to the Disney look, allowing cast members to express themselves more while at work. On top of that, we have already heard of the progress coming along on the new Princess and the Frog attraction, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that is replacing Splash Mountain. All right, I'm going to skip this because that doesn't matter to this part in terms of Zegler getting got. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Disney also has really shaken things up by casting actors of any race into live action characters that were originally animated as Caucasian. For years, Disney has stuck to the animated look of these characters, bringing them to life on attractions and within the parks, and really hammering a certain look into the minds of guests and fans. So when they announced the iconic character like Ariel from The Little Mermaid would be played by Grownish star Halle Bailey, the internet blew up in uproar. I mean, they did. It was a bad choice. I have to be honest with you. But I also have to say, if they would have cast a white girl, that movie still would have sucked. That movie sucked balls. I did a review on it. You can check it out. Leave it in the art card section. But that movie was just terrible. I mean, and I'm sorry, like, you have to ask yourself, I mean, was casting a black girl good for that? Because I'm pretty sure that did not help anything, especially the argument. Anyways, and it lost so much money. It's a flop of the year for sure. It was certainly not against Haley's talent and ability to play the role. That's true. Halle Bailey, I was a fan of hers beforehand. She's very talented and everything. I'm going to skip this part also just to go down. I just want to read this part right here. Most of the upcoming Snow White live action film starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot has hit some heat. There are two main instances that caused fans to be outraged of the upcoming film. Firstly, there will be no dwarves in the film, but 7 magical creatures, which deviates from the iconic story that Walt Disney himself created on screen. The second comes from an interview Zegler and Gadot did, saying that Snow White will not be saved by the prince, and there is no one who needs to save her. At that point, let me just go down here again. Sorry, you guys. I forgot how long this article was. All right, here we go. Now, a new rumor has been revealed, which notes that Zegler has been fired by the Disney company and ousted from her role as Snow White. This would follow recent reports that claim Zegler is no longer set to star in Paddington 3, thank God. Also, this series of films starring the lovable bear has grown into one of the most successful family franchises. I love those Paddington movies. Zegler has reportedly been cut from the film and will be recast as a result of ongoing Hollywood strikes. These strikes started months ago and have affected countless projects, both in the television world as well as film production. Now, TikTok user Wood Russell is claiming Disney fired their princess star. The creator states she has recently been fired from Disney's remake on Snow White and that she was starring in. The TikTok goes on to note that Zegler was problematic in West Side Story and now Snow White. The creator states that Disney fired Zegler for her vile personality during interviews to a loss of millions of dollars. Although tons of comments have flooded their viral video, the majority of them in celebration of the news, there is no source stated for the information in the video. So it still is a reported statement and not fully confirmed. All right, that's all I'm going to read of this article, just because it's so long. I forgot how long it was. I apologize for that. But I just want to say real quick my thoughts. I don't think this is true. And the reason is because they've already spent so much money on this movie filming. It's done, from what I understand. The movie is done. So here's the thing. If you remember, the set burnt down, and they had to rebuild that. There's pictures of that have been released, which I think it looks terrible. You know, the dwarves are not in there. They're all like magical creatures, and there's women in there. It just seems to me like it's just going to be bad, you guys. It's going to be bad. Flopperella all the way around. It's not going to be good. So, but I don't believe, because I don't think Disney wants to spend any more money on this nonsense. They've already spent so much money on this. I think that at this point, maybe they're just going to be like, release it. And then just let's, maybe not have her in Paddington 3 or have her in anything else that we got going forward. But we'll see how this turns out. And if she did get fired, good. I don't feel bad for her. She did what she did. She deserves, like the Joker said in the Joker, you get what you frickin' deserve. And she deserves this. And I don't feel bad for her. So boo frickin' who for you, Rachel Zegler. All right, you guys, sorry that one went on a little bit longer than I normally would like to do, but I want to move on to my third story of the week. All right, you guys, so this comes from Deadline, my favorite, and it says, Marvel Studio executives eye meeting soon to hear writers' pitches for coveted X-Men job. Okay, so here's the sitch, you guys. I'm just gonna say some stuff and then we'll read this real quick because it's a short article. So they are taking pitch meetings for a movie, for the X-Men movie, on how to get the X-Men into the MCU. Now, let me just say right now, I've talked about Deadpool 3, and that also kind of leads into Secret Wars, which I'll kind of talk about that in a minute. But I think that when it comes to the X-Men, you've got to get it 100% right. Kevin Feige needs to hire the best person for the job here. They need to hire a fan, somebody that knows the X-Men. I think that when they go in for their pitch meeting, and if you ever watch, there's a YouTube channel where it's like Hollywood pitch meetings. I think that's what it's called. Those are great, but I have a feeling that those are, and Paul Chatto, he did a video. I'll leave it in the iCard section, but he did a video he did some pitch meetings for some TV shows back in the day when he was an executive. And let me just say right now, these pitch meetings sound like the Hollywood pitch meetings YouTube channel. Like that's what they do and stuff. So I was like, this is hilarious in my opinion. So, all right, let me start this. And then I'll talk a little bit more about it with my opinion and stuff. So with a deal in place with the Writers Guild, studios have begun taking aim at setting writers for their open assignments. Marvel Studios is looking to set the bar with what will likely become one of the more sought-after jobs for any scribe. Ain't that the truth, sister? This right here, if I was a writer in Hollywood, I don't know how many dicks I would have to suck to get this job, but I'd be all like, I got a mouth and two hands. Come on, guys. So sources tell Deadline that Marvel will start setting writer meetings after this fall for pitches on its anticipated X-Men movie. Insiders add, there is no rush to fill the job since the film hasn't been dated yet, and it's more than likely that that writer decision will be made at the top of 2024. Marvel declined comment. Okay, so it says right here, so it says, While it will be a bit more before an X-Men movie makes it to theaters, the news that Marvel has started development on the live action pick is sure to excite fans of the franchise who have been begging for a new movie since Disney's acquisition of the 20th Century Fox and its library in 2019. The X-Men universe was by far the most popular and profitable X-Men IP that Fox controlled, with 7 films and a successful Wolverine spinoff franchise, was it though, that produced 3 more. After the disappointing release of Dark Phoenix in 2019, however, X-Men has been in need of a makeover. So true. And I want to talk about that makeover in just one second. But before I get started, I just want to say, before I get to the rest of this article, and we only have like 2 paragraphs left, I just want to say that I don't think they can start, like, they can recast the X-Men. I think it's until 2026 because those contracts for those other people were signed until 2026. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it is until 2026. So I don't think they can even make a movie till then. I'll talk to you in just a second. So following the Fox acquisition, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has been overseeing the development process, but there has been no rush to reboot the franchise with so many other projects farther along in development. That said, Marvel has had its fun with fans, teasing that an X-Men movie was on the horizon by dropping hints in its movies and TV shows. Specifically at the end of its Miss Marvel series, ugh, did that suck, where a character in an end credit scene dropped the word mutant. This scene seemed to signal the emergence of mutants that make up the X-Men team. Marvel also toe-dipped into the X-Men world with the throwback to the classic 90s animated series. The animated X-Men 97 will debut in early 2024 on Disney+. I will cover that show. Can't wait for it. And then the rest of this is all about the strike. I'm not going to read it, but I do want to talk a couple more things. So, first things. It is rumored that the X-Men will appear from the X-Men universe, which I've covered that also. I will try to leave it in our card section, but I only get so many of those, but I will, try to leave all that. But the X-Men will return in Deadpool, and I'm talking Hugh Jackman, obviously, Femke Jensen, James Marsden, and Halle Berry. There is rumors that others will return, but so far those are the ones that I absolutely believe they will return, because a lot of scoopers have said that. Here's the thing, though. There's also rumors that a lot of these characters, including those ones I just mentioned, will come in Secret Wars, and they will make an appearance in Secret Wars. And then some of those characters might stick around in the MCU. I do not like this at all. I want all fresh faces, all new people for the X-Men. I want an all-new storyline. After Secret Wars, I don't want to see the multiverse again for a long, long time, unless it's in like What If or like a cartoon or something like that. I just don't want to see it, you guys. I've had enough of the multiverse. They're not doing a good job. It's a hodgepodge of nonsense, and it obviously is not working out for Marvel and the MCU. Now, as far as the X-Men goes, I think that they just need to bring them in, and I think that, like I said before, the writers, because the writers have tentatively, signed agreement. They haven't signed it yet. But I think that they need to get a writer, like I said before, that is a fan, that knows the X-Men, and they know what to do with the X-Men. And I think that when they come in there, I think Kevin Feige, and this is obviously close to his heart because he was a producer on those 20th Century Fox movies, those X-Men movies, and that's where he got his start, So I think that when they come in, they need to just start quizzing these people, being like, well, what did you think about this, this, and this with Jean Grey? And if they don't know what they're talking about, minus a point. Bye. You don't get the job, fucker, because you don't know your X-Men. That's the thing. You need to hire. They need to get the X-Men right. That is who they need to get to do right. And they need to hire the right actors. And I'm not talking about these fucking activists, because nobody wants that bullshit. Nobody. I'm talking about hire people that want to do the job and that are fans of this stuff. And that starts with the writer, and the writer has to be a fan. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to end it there. So tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about, the Office getting a reboot. Are you guys fans of this? Not fans of this? How do you feel about this? Do you think they can do a reboot of this in today's age? Because I was talking to a friend and they were saying there was some problematic episodes in The Office in the beginning. There's one about a race day or something like that. I was like, interesting. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen it before, but I'm interested in seeing exactly where they go with this and who they get for it and all that stuff. But I don't see it. I don't see why. That's my biggest thing. Why? Nobody cares. Nobody wants this. And also, tell me, how do you guys feel about this rumor that Rachel Zegler has been fired from Snow White? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Do you think it's true? Do you not think it's true? What do you think they're going to do with all that nonsense? Do you believe me? Are you with me? And you don't think it's true? They've already spent way too much money on this nonsense. So they just want to get it out there and get rid of it and then not hire her for anything else. Or do you think it's true and she's gone? She's got, and they're just going to, hire somebody else and refilm everything. And then finally, tell me, how do you guys feel about this X-Men story? Do you think that it's a good idea to start hiring writers? Are you like me and they need to hire somebody that is a fan of the X-Men, the characters? They're a fan of the comic books. They really love these characters and they know what to do with these characters. Or do you think they should hire somebody that's just a good writer and they don't know these characters and they just come in, write a good movie, and to hell with the past of the X-Men, I don't think they'll do that, but you know what I'm saying. But tell me what you guys think about this. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week on my Week in Review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my Week in Review.